The palace lights glow softly against the night sky. Cameras wait outside, expecting perfection. But inside those walls, something entirely different unfolds. Because the girl the world sees is not the girl she fights every day to protect. And the real battle she faces isn't about crowns, ceremonies, or royal duty. It's about something far more fragile. Her right to live her own life. They call her the future Queen of Spain. But they never ask who she wants to be. They call her privileged. But they never ask what it costs. They call her protected. But they never ask what she's lost. And tonight, we step into the truth she can't show the camera. The truth she never chose. The truth she is learning to reclaim. This is the story of the princess without privacy. And her fight to control her own life. From the moment Leonor was born, her destiny was written before she could speak her first word. The cradle was surrounded by protocol. The first smile captured through lenses she didn't recognize. Every step, every expression, every silence analyzed, critiqued, magnified. She learned early that the world adored her. And she learned even earlier that the world watched her. Constantly, unblinking, expecting. Her childhood wasn't a childhood. It was training. Quiet, gentle, polished, structured. Every book chosen for her. Every activity approved. Every friend reviewed. That wasn't cruelty. That was monarchy. That was stability. That was tradition. And that was the weight she never asked to carry. Yet within her small world, she tried to create pieces of a normal life. A drawing hidden in a desk. A whispered laugh in a hallway. A moment of rebellion so tiny the world would never notice. But behind every door she opened, there was always someone standing behind her. Watching, guiding, correcting. She wasn't alone, but she was never free. As she grew older, the illusion of freedom became more complicated. She wanted to walk through the city without security. She wanted to choose her friends without advisors. She wanted to open her phone without wondering who would read her messages. But a princess cannot simply disappear. Not even for a moment. Every choice she made reflected the crown. Every mistake echoed through headlines. Every silence became a story someone else would write. And yet, she still searched for normal. She wanted to be Leonor, not Her Royal Highness. She wanted to laugh without worrying about posture. She wanted to cry without worrying about cameras. She wanted to dream without worrying who would judge her dreams. But royalty does not bend easily. And privacy is the first sacrifice of a throne. The Spanish people admire her. The world admires her. Her calm, her discipline, her elegance, her kindness. They see a young woman prepared to rule. But what they don't see is the cost. The exhaustion, the pressure, the internal war between duty and identity. Between expectation and desire. Between the life chosen for her and the life she wishes she could choose. When she entered the military academy, many believed she finally found freedom. They saw her smiling in uniform, marching, learning, maturing. They believed she had stepped into power. But inside those walls, she faced a different kind of control. Schedules stricter than any palace. Training more intense than any royal event. Silence more suffocating than any camera lens. She wasn't just learning leadership. She was learning obedience, discipline, restraint. But the academy also gave her something she had almost forgotten she could have. A room with a door she could close. People who didn't bow. Conversations that didn't begin with titles. And for the first time, she felt the taste of young adulthood. She felt what it meant to be her own person. Even if only in brief moments. Even if guarded by rules. Even if she knew it could be taken away. But freedom has a price. And for her, that price was secrecy. For every friendship she formed, she had to hide the details. For every moment of laughter, she had to remain careful. For every small piece of independence she managed to take, she had to ensure it never became a headline. Because one innocent moment, one private decision, one emotional expression could reshape the public's perception. She understood that deeply, too deeply for someone so young. At the same time, her parents watched her with quiet worry. Queen Letizia saw the emotional burden even when Leonor hid it behind impeccable posture. King Felipe felt the weight of tradition and tried to shield her, even though he knew some battles were impossible to fight. They loved her. They wanted her to grow. But they also knew the monarchy depended on her. Her image, her discipline, her survival inside a world that rarely forgives humanity in those who must look royal. The tension grew silently. A family's love pressed against a country's expectations. A young woman's hopes pressed against centuries of protocol. And Leonor found herself in the space between both realities. Too young to bear it. Too important to escape it. Still, she fought quietly. She fought when she asked for more privacy in her personal schedule. She fought when she insisted on choosing some of her own advisors. She fought when she requested control over the photos released of her. She fought when she dared to share her own voice in public speeches. She fought when she began defining what kind of queen she wanted to become. Not a symbol, not a puppet, not a perfect photograph placed on palace walls, but a human being, a leader shaped by experience, not just protocol. And her fight wasn't loud. It wasn't dramatic. It was subtle, elegant, intelligent. She learned to redirect conversations. She learned to negotiate with the institution that once controlled every step she took. She learned to protect her emotional space, her relationships, her identity. Each step seemed small to the world, but to her, every one was a victory. Yet the cameras did not disappear. Every outing still sparked questions. Every glance sparked rumors. Every silence sparked theories. She lived with headlines she didn't write, stories she couldn't correct, narratives she couldn't influence. But that pressure only fueled her determination to build a private world that no one could touch. She created boundaries, emotional, personal, invisible. She learned that privacy isn't a place. It's a choice, a discipline, a shield she carries even in the brightest spotlight. And slowly, she built something she had never experienced before. Control. She began shaping her future role instead of inheriting it blindly. She began choosing the causes she supports. She began preparing not just for the throne but for leadership. Real leadership. Leadership from understanding, not obligation. The world sees her at ceremonies. They see her waving, smiling, speaking, but they do not see the girl who sits at her desk at night wondering who she is beyond the crown. They do not see the moments when she allows herself to cry quietly, overwhelmed by the weight of two identities pulling in opposite directions. They do not see the friendships she protects fiercely because they are her last piece of ordinary life. They do not see the dreams she carries secretly, hoping she can keep at least one part of herself untouched by the demands of royalty. And yet, through all of this, she has grown stronger. More defined, more aware of her power. She has learned that her voice matters. Her boundaries matter. Her identity matters. She is not the quiet child photographed from afar. She is the young woman shaping the future of a monarchy in transition. A monarchy slowly learning to adapt to a world where privacy is rare but necessary. A monarchy that will one day depend entirely on her decisions. Leonor's journey is not just a struggle for privacy. It is a struggle for humanity. For selfhood. For substance. For the right to feel, to fail, to learn, to love, to breathe without the world interpreting every movement. And little by little, she is winning that fight. Not with rebellion, not with defiance, but with grace, with patience, with strength passed down from a family that understands love isn't enough. Protection isn't enough. She needs space. She needs autonomy. She needs room to become herself. And though the world will continue watching, she is no longer just watched. She is choosing. She is directing. She is leading her own narrative. She is shaping her destiny with intention, not obligation. She is discovering the balance between the girl she is and the queen she will become. Her story is still unfolding. It is vulnerable. It is complicated. It is emotional. It is real. The princess without privacy has learned the most powerful truth of all. Even in a life built from expectations, she can claim her identity. Even in a world of cameras, she can protect her heart. Even in the shadow of a throne, she can still fight for herself. And she is, every day, quietly, elegantly, relentlessly. This is not just the story of a future queen. It is the story of a young woman learning to control her own life. One choice at a time. One boundary at a time. One breath at a time. And that fight, more than anything else, is what will shape the queen she becomes.